Grace and peace, everybody. Somebody said, Berean, I know that the white man gave us the Bible to control us because the Bible talks about forgiving your enemies. I want to talk about psychosis in the conscious community. I guess you can call this my little rant. I get a lot of statements, and that's an interesting statement because if you talk to anybody, I've heard the Pope discuss forgiveness. I've heard the Dalai Lama discuss forgiveness. I've heard Desmond Tutu speak on forgiveness. Forgiveness, I don't think people even understand the depth of forgiveness or putting things down. One old timer said, "You can't make it. You can't make it down south looking in the rear view mirror." Glancing in the rear view mirror whilst you're driving is one thing, but you can't get far looking in the rear view mirror. Psychologists will even tell you right now, people that's been through trauma, people that's been raped, people that's been molested, that serious things have happened to them, that they have to forgive in order to move on. You have to learn to let things go. And I think a lot of times in the conscious community, a lot of people can't let things go. Now, some people may bring up, well, the European Jews, they don't want to let the Holocaust go and they built a museum, but they have things in its proper perspective. I'm going to give you an example. I think there's a problem, me personally, and scriptures help me keep things in their proper perspective as a believer, because as a believer, I'm not arguing from a place of victimization. The white man this, the white man that, if it wasn't for the white man. And when people hear truth, they confuse truth for cooning. I don't know how, but when we start talking about psychosis, the National Association for Mental Illness says psychosis is a break in reality and is often accompanied by hallucinations and delusion. And I think sometime with some people that I speak to in the conscious community that's a good definition. I can't see where 1,000 men would go uptown and 1,000 men would gather together and discuss when the white man crawled out of the Caucasus Mountains and debate that for 2 or 3 hours and go back to a neighborhood that's full of crime. That's delusional, that's sick, that's crazy to me. But that's just me personally. From my perspective, that's me personally. Somebody else, listen, Berean, you could say what you want. I'm not going to be dealing with you're trying to make us a white man's lover. Nobody's talking about being a white man's lover, but the problem is you say you're done with the white man and it's time for the revolution and all of these crazy comments and these things that I'm getting. Why is that problematic? Because you're texting me on an iPhone that the white man invented, and you're spending 6 hours a day on the Xbox and you're talking about revolution. The Bible is a book of choices. Choose ye today whom you're going to serve. Adam and Eve had choices what tree they want to eat from, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil or the tree of life. And I think a lot of times when people get involved in quote unquote consciousness, they're just using that, like psychologists told us 60 years ago, people use religion as a crutch. I think some people are using this consciousness, and I'm going to sell shade, but I'm not going to deal with the white man and all of this stuff because there's some type of psychosis that's there. There's something that's going on inside of them that's not lining up. That's not lining up. And knowledge is good, but wisdom is a little different. Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge. I'm going to tell y'all a story. There was a young lady, let's say her name was Kim. Kim got married to Kev. Kev was from around the way, and Kev was living a good life. His moms, he was the only son. His moms treated him pretty good, had a dad and everything. Decent upper middle class people. And she married him, but she felt that the mother-in-law was too involved. So she said Thanksgiving time, she said, well, and no, please nobody hit me about Thanksgiving. She said Thanksgiving time, the mother-in-law said, I want to come and I'm going to help you set up everything. And she said, I don't need your mother coming around here. I'm the woman of this house and we married now. And she gave a whole big speech. So she went, she said, everybody make sure y'all make it to my house Thanksgiving at 3:00. She had the turkey. She went grocery shopping, getting the collard greens and everything together. She baked some pies the night before. But on Thursday morning, she told them to be there at 3:00. But in all actuality, Thursday morning, about 12 o'clock, she just pulled the turkey out of the freezer. And then she started rearranging the furniture and cleaning up the house 2 hours before dinner time. Now, she had all of the ingredients. She made the pie. She knew what was supposed to be done, but she didn't have things arranged the way they were supposed to. The turkey should have been out and the furniture should have been rearranged and the house cleaned not 2 hours before the scheduled time. With psychosis, a lot of times people may have the right things, but they would tend to not have things in order. This is the difference between wisdom and knowledge. Wisdom will tell you how to use the knowledge that you have applied to get the best possible outcome. You can't spend all your time worried about what the white man has done because you put yourself in the place of a victim and instead of moving on. There's too much going on in many of our communities of African descent, African American, black folk, whatever you want to call yourself right now. There's too much going on in our communities that we can address. Things that we can address that we're dealing with instead of spending so much time talking about the white man crawling out of the Caucasus Mountains 40,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago. His reign is coming to an end. I've been hearing this. This is old stuff being regurgitated on the internet and spread around. I don't know if you people are doing it and saying it to yourselves to make you yourselves feel good, but for whatever reason it is a type of psychosis and it's a type of sickness and it's spreading in the conscious community. Don't fall for the madness. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. The madness has got to stop. My name is Brother Berean. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.